It was a Friday evening, the kind where the air feels thick enough to touch, heavy with rain waiting to fall. I remember stepping out of the cab, the city humming under the weight of dusk. Kolkata, or maybe just another city now, the place didn't matter. The feeling did. I'd been waiting for this moment for 6 years, a reunion, a return to a time when life felt easier, or at least when we thought it was. Then I heard a voice behind me. Dada, you can't smoke here. Don't you know the rule? Barun, same grin, same spark. We hugged, both of us laughing in disbelief that 6 years had passed. We spoke of everything and nothing. Jobs, cities, code, missed chances. Until Shandan appeared, late as always, now heavier, slower, but loud as ever. The three of us walked into the bar. Dim light, old wood, a kind of tired elegance. It smelled of beer and memory. We found a quiet corner, or thought we did, until Shandan stopped walking. I followed his eyes to a table near the back. A man sat alone, unshaven, slouched, his shirt creased, 3 empty bottles before him. At first, he was just another stranger, lost in the noise. Then I saw his face. It was deep. Time slowed. For a second, none of us moved. He had been our fourth, the missing side of our square. And he looked fallen. We approached him cautiously. He looked up after a long pause, eyes a little too calm. Then suddenly recognition, a flicker of warmth. Oi, what a surprise. He stood and hugged us, the same voice, the same spark beneath the wreckage. We sat, we ordered beers. Shandan tried to joke, but there was something sharp in his tone. He asked Deep what he'd been doing, where he'd been working, why he looked like that. Deep didn't argue. He just took a slow sip and said quietly, I was working. I left today. Today was my last day. He began.
You want to know what happened? You want to know how someone goes from being the hero of the class, guitarist, cricketer, the guy everyone thought would win, to sitting alone in a bar with 3 empty bottles. I'll tell you. But you have to understand something first. Every fall begins with a moment so small you don't even notice it. Mine started with a cricket match. We should have won against Metallurgy. 3rd-year arena tournament. If we'd won, we'd have gone to the next round. But we lost. And that night, to forget the loss, we smoked pot for the first time. Ganja, marijuana, Mary Jane. Whatever you call it, it felt like freedom. Every afternoon after that, we'd meet at the BBC, the basketball court. We'd sit in a circle. We called it the loop. Pass the chillum, inhale, exhale, discuss politics, cricket, the meaning of everything and nothing. I never felt more relaxed anywhere than in that loop. It wasn't addiction. Not then. It was belonging. You got selected first, Ashok, campus placement. That night I brought ganja to celebrate your success. You slept early. I stayed up all night, smoking, laughing with the seniors. One by one you all got jobs. I was the last. And by then the loop mattered more than lectures. The results came on a day I'd forgotten they were coming. Failed 2 subjects. Year lag. But I had a job in hand, so what did it matter? 1 more year of college, 1 more year of the loop. Then Dad had his first heart attack. I went home, saw him in that hospital bed, the strongest man I knew, suddenly fragile. Mom cried that night, asked if I was doing drugs. I laughed it off. Ganja wasn't drugs, it was just ganja. I promised to study harder, swore on Dad's health. I kept half the promise. Morning classes, yes. Homework, yes. But 4 o'clock would come and I'd drift back to the loop, like gravity pulling me down. The day I finished my repeat semester exams, we celebrated. Royal Stag, Imperial Blue, Kingfisher. I mixed everything, smoked everything. Last thing I remember, vomiting in the corridor. Next afternoon, I woke to my phone screaming. 35 missed calls. Mom's voice was different, empty. Where were you? I was celebrating, Mom. My exams. Were you drinking? Doing drugs? I couldn't lie. Yes. Your father died. The phone went dead. So did something inside me. He'd asked for me. While I was passed out, my father was asking for his son. If I'd been sober, I could have heard his voice one last time. Maybe held his hand, maybe he wouldn't have let go. At the funeral, Mom said one thing. Next time you smoke, remember, your habit killed your father. I quit everything. Cigarettes, ganja, even the loop. But quitting meant isolation. My only friends were the smokers, and without smoke, I was nobody. I studied like a man possessed. Topped my class. But when results came, my company, the job I'd waited for, refused me. Year lag history. That's all I was now. A statistic. A risk. Mom didn't give up. She told our relatives I was starting a business, computer assembly. She gave me her life savings, every rupee she'd hidden away. Deep computers. My chance at redemption. But I'd bet on the past while the world moved to the future. Laptops, online stores. I watched her savings disappear, one failed sale at a time. Then AKB, my old professor, walked into my dying shop. Still looking for a job? A small company. Low pay. But it was something. A VP and Sons. I dreamed of skyscrapers, corner offices, ID cards. Instead, I got a converted apartment in Tollygung. No security, no AC, just 30 old computers and a website nobody visited. 3 weeks in, my manager asked me to sign off on inflated invoices, corruption, theft. I said no, threatened to report it. They fired me the same day. The office boy told me the truth. The boss and manager were partners in the scam. Just move on, Dada. Don't ruin your life. Move on. Failed exams. Move on. Lost father. Move on. Lost job. Move on. Failed business. Move on. Fired for honesty. Move on. I didn't move. I stopped. Locked myself in my room. Slept 20 hours a day. Mom tried everything. Love, anger, silence. Nothing worked. Finally, she took me to a psychiatrist. Severe depression, he said, like naming it would cure it. Medication, therapy. Beer became my new loop. 3 bottles, 4, 5. Every night, trying to forget that every morning would come anyway. Then one day, Mom made a call. To Pallaby.
Voice from the past. Pallaby. The girl who once called him nonsense. She had found him, helped him, called him back to life. She got him a job. He said he was working there. Till today.
Remember that night at the college fest? After our band performed, she'd walked up to me while I was smoking. "You're such nonsense," she'd said. "Interested in bad boys?" I'd teased. As a social service project, maybe. She'd stayed in touch through everything. Through the year lag. Through Dad's death. Through the darkness. She kept calling when everyone else stopped. She got me a job, her friend's company. Web consulting. Limited small salary, but steady. Slowly, I started rebuilding. Medication helped. Pallaby helped more. Day by day, brick by brick. I worked there for 3 years. Good work, good people. They left early. I stayed. Ordered one more beer. That's when you walked in. You see 3 bottles and assume I'm drowning. You see my untidy hair and think I've given up. But those bottles, only one was mine. This appearance, I just don't care about impressions anymore. You asked why I left the job today, because sometimes to gain something new, you have to let go of the old. You thought you found me at rock bottom. But I'm not falling anymore. I'm just choosing which mountain to climb next. The truth is, we all fall. Some of us fall in public, messy and loud. Others fall in private, behind success and smiles. But falling isn't failure. It's just gravity reminding you that you're human. The question isn't whether you fall. It's whether you learn to fly on the way down. My father died thinking I was lost. My mother spent her savings thinking she could save me. But in the end, I had to save myself. One day at a time, one breath after the fog. So yes, I'm the fallen one. But I'm also the one who got back up. Not perfect, not heroic, just standing. And sometimes, my friends, standing is enough.
When he finished, there was a long silence. Deep just smiled, calm, almost peaceful. Sometimes, he said, to gain something new, you need to let go of the old. Sean embarked a laugh. What's new in your life then? Deep leaned back, eyes steady. I'm joining a new job. Bangalore. We stared. Barun asked where, and Deep said one word. Microsoft. Silence again. The kind that says everything words can't. That night, as I watched him, I realized we hadn't found a broken man. We'd found someone who had been to the bottom and learned how to climb. Falling, I understood then, isn't failure. It's gravity reminding us we're still alive. And Deep, he had risen.